Kai, Artilicore, and Long.
Yeah, and pretty good teams, I would say, on each side. Obviously, we're going to be leading with Boss Hog and Kai. Boss Hog, one of the rising stars of the EU community, while Kai, just solid Ori overall.
And unfortunately for Craig, Ori is not a good matchup for him.
Yeah, but I would say that player-wise, both players are pretty even right now, honestly. Just in terms of skill set, they're pretty even. But that's just my assessment. I would say most of Europe is pretty even until they face Fire Icy, you know.
Fair enough. But right now, Kai looking to try and extend this advantage state here. Going aggressive off stage, knocking Boss Hog off the pillar, and unfortunately gonna have to get up into a F-Strong, and that's going to take the first stock.
Indeed, but that stock is looking almost... Ooh, I almost thought that Kai was dead here, but is going to be able to reuse that pillar to go back on the stage and apply some more pressure, get some precious percent onto Boss Hog. Boss Hog who's just struggling to find the kill right now.
Yeah, and that's one of the big problems that Craig can have in this matchup, just being able to slow down Ori enough to be able to find those kills.
Yeah, it is a weird thing, because obviously Craig does have the kill power, but he's pretty slow, so you gotta find a way to catch the rat, quote unquote.
Yeah, and when it's the fastest character in the game, that does not make it any easier.
Not easy at all, for sure, and right now both players are definitely battling over that control of that pillar, and it looks like Kai is going to win that one.
Yeah, I mean, even with the amount of text off of that wall, there's not really much Boss Hog could do while down there to try and stop Kai from just coming down there and being a bully. Yeah,
especially if he can't get back on the stage, he can't refresh his pillar, so that is one less recovery option, and a critical one at that. So it's going to be very hard to just escape the pressure from another player who's willing to go down there and challenge Craig on his pillar.
And unfortunately, Boss Hog looking for a tech roll there, still not going to be able to find one, so Kai going to be able to get back into the advantage state here, and this stock on Boss Hog is not looking fresh.
No, but he did manage to finally get that forward air kill. Now the question is it too little too late? He's completely off stage right now, gonna have to go for the pillar. And now, yeah, we've got once again Kai bullying Boss Hog on that pillar. Gonna be able to well land back though. And barely save. Ooh, but the side B here is not going to be able to be cancelled quick enough to get another pillar in.
Yeah, like you were talking about with that DI, it looked like Boss Hog was trying to DI down to try and be able to hit the stage there, but unfortunately just went over the edge, and that ended up with them being too low to be able to come out of the side B quick enough.
Yeah, just a little bit too low, and sometimes, honestly, visually, I feel like the bottom blast zone is the most decipherable? I don't remember the word.
Deceptive?
Deceptive. There we go. It's definitely one of the most deceptive places you can be on a rival stage, just overall.
Yeah, it's honestly just feels really difficult to tell how much room you have past the camera down there. Kind of makes me a little bit of wishing that we had the camera that Ultimate has, where it shows you where you are relative to those blast zones.
Oh yeah, definitely. Now the question is, do we have the next game up? Because right now Kai is up one stock. So the question is, who's gonna have to take that stock?
Yeah, I mean, that's always going to be the challenge when you're coming into a crew battle like this, because it's like, if you know that one player has the character matchup, but the other player has the player skill to be able to handle them, it's like, which of those do you really prefer in Rivals?
I mean, the fact is, I would still value player-to-player matchup more, personally. Just because the Rivals cast, in terms of the character cast, is pretty even.
Yeah, I mean,
if you make a tier list, and like a traditional tier list where you know it goes to from S to F, I would have a hard time putting anyone below C, you know.
Yeah, I don't Honestly, now that I think about it, I don't think I've seen any tier lists in the past year or so that's had more than 3 tiers. That's wild to think about when you consider like some of the other games where you have all the way from like S to F. I mean, that's a huge gap for the characters in those kinds of games, but in Rivals only having like 1 or 2 tier differences, that's pretty big.
Yeah, and even then, it's all about the, just the skill you take at the end of the day. Because you could technically make a tier list from S to B or from S to C and have the same results and the same ideas in terms of just the matchups. Being like, oh, well, character in C usually has a 70 to 30 matchup on the character that's in D or in S. Sorry about that. Or
right,
you could just be like, oh, well, I'll just put him in B.
Yeah.
Very subjective at the end of the day.
Absolutely, and we've been communicating with production behind the scenes, so it looks like we're going to be getting the next portion of this crew battle up on the screen in a moment here once I get the replays ordered correctly.
Yeah, apparently there was a little bit of problem with the order of replays, so what we've seen is the 4th game.
No spoiler alerts, though.
Yeah, no spoilers alert. Obviously, you can get the bracket from the chat, but you're not able to discuss it because no spoilers. Also, doubles is going on at the same time.
Being 100% honest here, I'm glad I didn't have to commentate that because that is just trying to commentate chaos.
I was about to say, I love doubles, but this is a lot of chaos, especially if you're not the one playing.
Absolutely. I mean, there's just so much going on in those matches, it's hard to keep up.
Yeah. But anyways, back to our first game then. Which means we're gonna be opening with Horticultore versus Zonix. So scores are obviously reset. This is the first game.
Yep. Right now, Horticultore just going right off bat, trying to get those dash attacks, but against the disjoints of Zonix, it's going to be difficult to be able to get in against that character.
Yeah, that's what I think. I don't like as an Eldest main. I don't quite like the Clarin matchup because of those disjoints. But at the same time, it is so easy to at some point get a full combo. Ooh, not there though. But yeah, get a full combo on Clarin and just get her out of there very quickly. So it's a matchup that can go both ways, in my opinion, but can be very frustrating for the Eldest nonetheless.
And on typical. Mind if I just call him Ordy for short? Because that is a tongue twister.
I mean, sure.
Alright, so, I mean, Ordy had a good option there off the stage, but unfortunately, this is the trade-off for being aggressive on the edge like that, because if you miss your opening there to finish the punish, it essentially just gives your opponent a chance to turn the tables on you.
Yeah, and very good fair here in order to take that stock, but Orty is at 108% right now. Like, I feel like most tippers from Clarence are going to kill at this point. And, well, not side B yet, but good DI to not get hit by the up smash.
Yeah, but at the same time, it's like you're stuck out here with Headless Recovery, just trying to find a way back to the ground, and it is not easy because you can't really rely on icicles to create an opening because your opponent can either parry those or, in Clarence's case, just use the down B to completely eliminate them.
Yeah, it is a very, very linear recovery. I would argue that Ellis is one of the most linear recoveries in the game, and obviously Zonix taking off the mask as he does. Just his
that
thing.
extra showmanship.
That is just his thing, you know.
Nice parry there on the forward air, and once again just takes stage advantage and just chucks Horticultore off the stage here, and unfortunate up air.
Yeah, I was about to say, this is an unfortunate up air into SD. It happens sometimes. You kind of misjudge the distance, or just the inherent lag of the move, and you just fall to your death. Happens a lot with Edelus sometimes.
Yeah, so Zonic's going to be knocking off Articulatore there for the RBC team, and we are sending out Lonk next as the Rano main.
Yeah. A little bit of Rano action on this today. Ooh,
Opting to just SD the stock first.
yeah, and going back to neutral. Little taunt here to know that we're good, and we're back.
Yep, so this is another one of those matchups where I feel like the disjoint does come into play, but Rano, I think, may have an easier time.
That was a very good parry, though. Just the bullfrog fell! Like, no questions asked. Just fell.
Yeah, I was going to say Rano's one of those characters that can have an easier time edge guarding Claren just because of those darts being able to knock her out of that up B, but at the same time, parrying your opponent while they're recovering is always a good option.
I mean, especially when you're not parrying necessarily the projectiles, but parrying the actual attack. Oof. Just the deepest tech. One of the deepest techs I've ever seen, I think.
Yep.
One
Nice
pixel
play
below, and that was there.
And I mean, Blanca's just really trying to throw this movement and punish game in a high gear, but it's just a matter of trying to find your way past those disjoints to be able to get that final hit.
Yeah, just like overall, Long has trouble right now. Just getting those kill moves. He's gonna get it there, but just trying to wall out Zonix as much as he can. But again, those disjoints are going to be a problem, especially if Zonix can get some really perfectly spaced attacks like this one.
Yeah, and that's going to put Lonk on their final stock here. This is definitely looking rough right now for their team.
Oh yeah, and already Long's in the mixer right now. Can we get here to chain grabs?
No.
Looking like melee over here.
No kidding. I mean, these side specials are just creating so many great openings for Zonix to just keep this pressure going. There we go. Parry finally going to give Lonk a chance to breathe here on stage, but only for a moment.
Yeah, and we were talking about how important DI is in this game, and that is the thing. If you can follow the DI, you're a god. You're a god.
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely one of the biggest things that people are excited for rollback, because having the rollback just makes it so much easier to be able to chase down your opponent and follow that DI.
Yeah, less read, more reacting, you know.
Exactly.
Kind of stuff. Obviously, you're still missing a little bit of startup frames from the rollback, but it's always better than just to be pressing the button and it happens like 2 seconds after.
Yeah, I'm not going to be missing that once rollback's on the main branch.
Yeah. But yeah, that does mean Zonix in a very good position right now for Team Kaori, and now Team RBC has to send in their last player.
Yeah, I mean, this is definitely the do or die situation to be able to stop Zonix here.
Indeed. So my question is, does production have game 3? That is the question right now.
Hopefully the answer will be yes. And there we go.
Yeah, there we go. That's when Kai comes in.
Yep.
Which I answer, fair enough.
Yeah, so
Zonix
going...
is on one...
Yep.
Yeah, Zonix is on one stock. You're sending Kai to take down the Menace. That makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, on a stage like Duel's Veil is definitely a great stage for Ori because that platform is just so good at extending combos off the side.
Oh, definitely. And the bash is not going to be quite enough to take it yet. But look, as I say that the guy gets hit, but I was about to say he's doing a very good defensive job here.
Yep, but able to drop down low, get around that edge guard, and now, trades with the F strong, so I'm not going to be able to take off the stock there.
Yeah, and just right now we're full neutral. Right now, full neutral. Trying to get some folks in. Good F strong from Kai, but obviously not quite enough to take it. Ooh, but the Spirit Flame into up here is going to be able to steal out that stock. And now Kai still has his free stocks, so...
Yeah, that's impressive to me when Ori players are able to do that. Just use that sign charge to be able to bounce the opponent into them like that and be able to react to which direction the opponent's flying relative to the sign charge.
Absolutely, like... It takes a lot of training just to do it. Because I still think that Ori is a little bit of a more technical, on the more technical side in terms of the Rivals cast. Because you have to manage sign, like, pretty much as a puppet, when you think about it. Or is a puppet character.
Yeah, that is true when you think about it, because, I mean, just being able to remember the path you just took and react to where sign's going to be, or even just moving yourself to where you want sign to be in the future, just managing that timing can be a challenge in itself.
Ooh, and controlling sign while obviously you are moving is already very difficult. So yeah, obviously next we had Boss Hog versus Kai, which we've seen that one.
Yeah, so we are going to be moving on to the next match after that,
which is going to be the Ori ditto with Kalamari coming in. Kai on one stock.
Yeah, not exactly where you want to be on this ditto, especially on this stage, because Ori can just delete stocks in an instant if you're caught by an up air at the ledge.
Yeah, it's gonna go very fast. Don't blink, chat. Don't blink. Yeah, already just Ori doing Ori things, definitely.
No, has him towards the edge here. No air dodge either, so that is not a good spot to be in, but fortunately able to go high enough to reach that top platform.
Yeah, and right now Kai is definitely close to losing that last stock, for sure. Fortunately, Kalamari here is going to be in an edge guard situation, is going to die here, but that is 98% on Kai. Gonna be hard to come back from this, especially on rock wall.
Yeah, I mean, at this point it's like 2 up airs at the ledge and you're gone.
Yeah, like that.
Just like that. Just like that.
That's it.
Sometimes it's a commentator's curse, other times it's a commentator's blessing.
Yeah, usually I get more on the curse side. But yeah, that's going to be it for this match. Very well played from all players.
Yeah, but I mean, once again, we just saw the first player taking out so many stocks. It makes you wonder, are the remainder of the matches going to end up being like that, where one person just dominates and then the other team has to find a way to scramble back, or are we going to start seeing some back and forth between the players here?
I mean, even then, Kai did a really good job in terms of trying to come back. Obviously, it wasn't going to fly against Calamari, but overall, still did a very good job at, doing the comeback.
Yeah, I mean, being able to anchor for your team like that is definitely a key thing, because it's easy to come in and just take a lot of stocks because there's not as much pressure, because you're like, oh, I still have my other teammates to be able to come in afterwards and help clean up. But when you're the anchor, there's no one left to help you. You have to be able to carry everything on your shoulders at that point.
It's a lot of pressure